Hello,
You guys?
welcome to the stream. Morning for us,
Yeah,
probably not
welcome.
morning for you. Well, maybe morning for you, maybe really, really early in the morning, depending on whereabouts in the world you are. But yeah, if you're here in the chat, let us know. Where are you from? Where are you joining us from? What crazy time of the day or night? What day is it where you are? All of those fun worldwide time zone things. Welcome to the Supabase Happy Hour. So this is, if this is the first time you're joining us, this is just, a couple of hours a week that we get to spend building fun stuff with Supabase. And so this is episode 14 or season 2, episode 5, I think it is.
Wow.
It's 45, huh? Wow.
Already 5, yeah. We've been waffling on for too long. We've been fixing too many types. We haven't been building enough app, and so we're already at episode 5, and we don't really have anything to show for it just yet. But yeah, so the reason that we joke about it being these different seasons is usually we spend a collection of streams building out some significant application instead of just showing you how to connect like one thing to one other thing live on the stream. We're trying to build like an actual application that you could use in production. And so
Yeah, we show you how to connect a lot of little things to a lot of little other things.
yeah, every stream we show you how to connect one thing to one other thing and spend the rest of the time just, talking trash. And then
CSS and types.
yeah, all CSS and types. So the previous series of videos, we built a multi-platform chat application, real-time chat application. So we built one Supabase backend that powers a Next.js application and a Flutter app. And then in this series of videos, we are building a SaaS application using Remix and Supabase and Stripe. So we're building a journaling app where you can write a journal entry for the day. And then we're SaaSifying that by creating these different payment tiers where you can create a certain number of entries, maybe on the free tier, and then on the like basic plan, you can create a little bit more. And then on the pro plan, you can create unlimited or something like that. So that kind of structure of opening up functionality at different payment tiers, which is a pretty common use case for building a SaaS of any kind. So you can kind of take this this kind of blueprint that we're building in these streams and kind of apply it to anything. But yeah, I guess, who are we? Who are we?
Oh, yeah.
I'm Jon. I'm Jon Meyers. I am a developer advocate here at Supabase. Who's going to go next? Are we going to go down or are we going to go across?
Okay, I'll go.
Yeah, we'll keep it normal.
Hi guys, I'm Tyler, and I'm also a developer advocate at Supabase. I mainly focus on Flutter side of things, but yeah, I enjoy these streams very much. Building awesome things with Jon and Alaister. And who are you, Alaister?
I'm Alaister. I'm still not a DevRel at Supabase. I'm on the front end team, despite Thor's best efforts. But yeah,
Thor and Jon's best efforts. We're trying very, very hard.
Yeah, Thor was like the other day in the DevRel meeting. Thor was like, "Where's Alaister?" Like, I think he wasn't even joking.
I noticed you're like in the team channel as well. Like when we're talking about something DevRel, like you're trying. You're a part.
I'm actually in the like group DevRel.
You are
on Slack. I don't know who put me in there. It was probably Thor.
Yeah.
But there you go.
That's awesome. So you're not actually technically a developer advocate, not technically on the DevRel team, but joining us every week for the happy hour streams, which is so nice.
I like that. Is it Trost Codes? Honorary.
Yeah, Alex
DevRel.
Trost is joining us. Huge fan of Supabase. Alaister will get there one day. Very encouraging. But yeah, one day we'll open the door and let you into DevRel. But for now, an honorary guest.
I'll
We've
happily
also-
be an honorary DevRel. That's too many
Excellent.
syllables.
It is. We've got George joining us. Whereabouts in the world are you coming to us, George? You've joined us for quite a few streams now, so thanks for hanging out with us each week. Cookify Media has also joined us, I think, a couple of times. Welcome
Good
back.
to see you again.
Yeah. Harry, whereabouts are you joining us from? Vincent is joining us from Germany, and it's very early in the morning.
Yeah, he's one of the core contributors of the Flutter SDK, and he's amazing.
Oh, awesome.
It's really amazing. Yeah.
Good to have
Awesome.
you.
Good to see you. Yeah.
And yeah, we've worked out that 2 a.m. is the sweet spot. That's like no matter
Yep.
where we shift the time of Supabase Happy Hour to, it's only the people that it's either 1 or 2 a.m. in the morning that join us live, because that's developer time. That's when everyone's up coding. It's good stuff. And yeah, even further proof, Nigeria, it's 1 a.m. on Friday.
1 a.m.
And in the UK,
1
it's
a.m.
1 a.m. So everyone's joining us
It's actually true, isn't it?
yet again in the middle of the night. Yeah, that's good stuff. And yeah, George is joining us from Missouri. And
Missouri.
Jonathan is back again. Welcome back. Very close to my full name, but I've got an O at the end instead of an A. So I keep getting confused as to whether I'm writing something in the chat and haven't put my photo there. But yeah, welcome back from New Zealand. So that would be a very reasonable time for you. I guess it's pretty close to our time, 10 a.m., maybe 9 a.m. over there.
No, the other way. I
11
think it'd
a.m.?
be like 11.
Right.
Yeah. or
11?
12. Who knows?
Again, 2 a.m. from Sweden. it's
Everywhere
that's
it's 2 a.m.
Wow.
It's that happy hour. 2 a.m. is the happiest hour. Alex is joining from the east coast of the US. Oh, right, yeah. So usually he doesn't join us live. Usually he waits until it's 2 a.m. his time, and then
It's the best time to
reworks
watch.
his- That's right.
funny. Really funny.
Actually, we joke, but last night at about 1 a.m., I was like, oh, what did we do last week? And I actually did watch the stream or part of the stream at 2 times speed at like 1 a.m. last night. So yeah, I guess that's just the sweet spot. That's when our voices sound best, when when everything
flow
is just
state
perfectly
turns on.
aligned.
Yeah.
So it's lunchtime for Jonathan in New Zealand, so about 12 o'clock. So yeah, a little bit ahead of us. But yes, 2 a.m. is in fact the rule. You have to watch the happy hour stream at 2 a.m. So what's been happening in Supabase? So we weren't here last week. We were off doing fun things. In fact, I can share my screen and show you what these two people were doing with their fun time. They went off to Singapore and went to the City JS conference. So how was it?
Oh, it was great. We
Great.
were
Yeah. Got to meet
manning
a
the
lot of people.
Supabase booth there because Supabase was a sponsor. So we got to give away heaps of T-shirts. So if we saw you there, it was great. Hello. I hope
Awesome.
you got some T-shirts and stickers and coasters, all the swag.
Very cool.
Yeah, and they were
Nice.
great.
What was your favorite talk, Tyler?
Oh, it was the I forgot the title, but there was one about playing music using web technology. That was amazing.
Yeah, it's
So
like
they
connecting
played-
MIDI stuff.
Yeah, connecting MIDI stuff. So they connected a keyboard to the computer, and they did something on the browser, and that emits a sound from the keyboard, and that's how you can play cool music
That's
from your
awesome.
browser. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
you
was
might have
awesome.
to watch that
Cool.
one, John. And it
Yeah,
ended
well,
with an
There's some
actual
live
song.
footage as well on Twitter.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually like, I'm planning on building an example doing a similar thing. So like having one of the synthesizers in this studio connected up to MIDI and doing basically like a live stream of me building out a similar thing with some new fun stuff that's coming in Supabase real time. And then I was thinking for a happy hour stream, we could like potentially have the synthesizer like there live listening to requests on a web browser, and people can like join, like go to that URL and like play melodies on the synthesizer from anywhere in the world, which I thought would be very cool. So yeah, I'll definitely check out that
season
talk.
3.
Yeah,
Sounds
yeah,
really
watch-
good.
yeah. Well, yeah, that's a good call. Maybe we will do that for season 3 if we ever get our SaaS app actually implemented. It's just too fun hanging out and chatting with you guys. I feel like the code is like a second priority, second or third priority. What was your favorite talk, Alaister?
I'd have to be boring and say it was the same one. That talk blew everyone out of the water. But yeah, it actually ended with a song, where I think it was Ty was the speaker, playing on the keyboard, and it was, and there was someone singing. It was fantastic.
He doesn't happen to be someone from an Australian hip hop group, does he? He doesn't happen to be someone.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Thailand.
Yeah, he lives in Thailand.
Okay,
his name is
from
Thai.
Thailand.
Thai from Thailand.
Right. Because at ReactConf, in fact, Alaister, you were at ReactConf. We did not. Wait, no, were you? No, you weren't at ReactConf.
No.
In Sydney. Never mind.
No.
Never mind. Different Australian person. There's many of us. In ReactConf,
we're all basically the same as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Interchangeable. Sure, I was there. Yeah. For the
there was
purposes
a
of the example.
ReactConf in Sydney just before COVID happened. So here in Australia, and it was like the first one, and it was really cool. And everyone, like, big turnout, and was going to happen every year. And then obviously COVID destroyed the world. But there was a talk there that someone basically built like a music production thing using React, and so it was like all React components, so you could like pull in like a keyboard or like a keyboard component, and then you'd get like a keyboard layout on the screen, and you could play the keys. It was very cool. But yeah, sounds like a little bit different to this talk, but that sounds very fun. I will definitely check that out. And if you want to check this out as well, they have actually put up the entire stream, so all 8.5 hours of this stream on YouTube. So highly recommend you go and check that out. I'm definitely going to be watching through because I feel very jealous that I didn't get to go to City JS. Cookify Media is pointing out that I have a super dope hat, a Supabase dope hat. Oh, Alaister's got one too. Tyler, where's the hat? Oh, he's oh, that's awesome. Maybe we should wear these every stream.
I gotta take. Yeah, Tyler's still got it on as well.
Look at that. That is so good.
Tag.
So yeah, these are some amazing new swag from Supabase. I think at the moment, I think there was a very limited run done initially, and so I think maybe it's just like Supabase team members at the moment that have these hats that are just like building up hype, and everyone in the world now wants this swag.
I'm keeping a tag on so I can keep the resale value high.
Ah, nice. You've left the sticker on as well. Yeah, you know how to do it. Yeah, that authentic sticker. So yeah, I don't think we're selling these at the moment. We might in the future, or they might just be like super exclusive cool swag for people doing cool stuff.
I think there's even the only way to get one at the moment is by getting yourself a golden launch week ticket, and then I think you might get a gold one. I'm not sure. That's not confirmed. Don't hold me to that. That's maybe a sneaky sneak peek for those people watching the stream. But get your launch week golden ticket.
That's
right. You never know.
So yes, what is the launch week golden ticket?
I'm skipping ahead. Sorry, John. But...
skipping ahead. We can go straight to that. That's fine. If you didn't hear, there was a super special announcement from Ant, our CTO, about Supabase launch week number 5. And so this is happening on the 15th of August. We're kicking off the next launch week, and there's going to be some super, super cool stuff being launched. And so if you're keen to join us for all of those awesome launches, head on over to supabase.com/launch-week and see this awesomely designed new landing page where you can register. And when you register, you get your own unique conference ticket, or not conference ticket, your own unique launch week ticket. And yes, there are some special people that are receiving golden tickets, which maybe get you some special swag and maybe some exclusive stuff. So make sure you head on over to supabase.com/launchweek and sign up to see if you get your golden ticket and whether the Willy Wonka Swagmaster sends you some dope ass swag.
Nice.
And oh yeah, Tyler needs a gray hat because he was sitting in the middle. If we had one white, one black,
Right.
and you had gray in the center, maybe just get some sand and rub it over it a couple of times, and we'll have the gray edition. But
Yes.
yeah, a green Supabase hat with the logo in white would be
Sand.
superb. That would be very cool. Yeah, Supabase green around the outside. And
Yeah.
See, it all works really well with like the basketball team that I go for is the Celtics, and they're all like green. It's actually a very like
Celtics,
similar
right.
green. So when I wear my Celtics hat, it's like kind of like on brand for Supabase and vice versa. So I like
Now
wearing
you've
green.
got the real deal, though.
Yeah. Now I've got now I can just stop watching basketball. I finally got my proper Supabase hat. Cool. So check out Launch Week. If you want to see what Launch Week is all about, if you haven't been here for a Launch Week before, we have put up all of the videos from the last Launch Week. So Launch Week number 4, you can go and check out all of the cool things that we launched on each of the days. And if you're not familiar with Launch Week, if this is your first time joining the stream and joining, finding out about Supabase, every a few times a year, couple of times, 3-4 times a year, we have a launch week where we basically drop a whole bunch of new features, and usually very awesome stuff that people have been asking about for a while. And yeah, basically we annoy everyone on Twitter with way too much shouting about all of the cool stuff that we've built. And it's a very exciting time. So I recommend you go check out the previous launch week videos to see what we launched last time and get ready for this week by heading over here and registering. And this is the fancy little golden ticket that you can look forward to maybe receiving. There's been a very, very exclusive number of people that have received them so far. Cool. What else has been happening in Supabase world? I don't know if we actually went through this, put up the video last time, or whether we just kind of hinted that this was coming. But Tyler put up this awesome video of full text search. So what's this one about?
Yeah, so this is basically how you can perform a full text search using Supabase. So Supabase has this method called text search that you can just easily throw in the column that you want to search for and then the search query that you want to search for, and it'll just return all the rows that contain or match that particular search query. So this video explains how you can basically implement that.
That's
using
awesome.
This function.
So it allows you to search over over multiple columns, right? So if you had you can specify these 3 columns are the ones that have data that I want people to be able to search on, right?
That's still a work in progress. We are working on that right now at the moment. At the moment, it only allows you to put in 1 column, but that's coming soon. And once that comes out, I guess I'll have to edit this video and add it in.
Nice.
But,
so then it's so you can do matching on
title or description.
Yeah. Oh man, that's awesome.
Well,
at the moment it's just single column. Yeah.
If you want to do multiple columns at the moment, you can create a Postgres generated column, and then that essentially combines all of the columns that you want to search. And if you want to see an example of that, go back to episode 1 of the Happy Hour, I believe, where we showed, or even that might be episode 0. I don't know if we're calling it the first.
Did we do this?
Episode.
Oh that was
the example for the what was it called?
Partner gallery.
The partner gallery. Yeah, we've got an open source example for the partner gallery where you can search through all of the Supabase partners. And I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, it's been a while now, that has this exact example of searching a generated column using the text search function. So yeah, go and have a look at that one if that's something you might find useful. I think useful for a lot of apps.
Yeah, awesome. I forgot about that. I guess maybe this is season 3 rather than season 2, or I guess that could just be
that was
season
the teaser.
0. Yeah,
that was the one off.
Yeah. Tyler, while you're on a roll, what else have you
so
launched
this was 3 days ago, I guess. We announced 3 days ago, 2 days ago, depends on where you live, I guess. But so we announced the developer preview of Flutter SDK 1.0. So this includes number of updates, but Yeah, Flutter SDK had a few different. It worked in a different way from the JavaScript SDK, and some people were really happy with that. So we made it more aligned with the JavaScript SDK, and we made it more developer friendly for Flutter developers to use. So yeah, do check it out. I won't go into the details here, but yeah, there's a lot of updates that's listed in this particular blog article. And if you are a Flutter developer, please do try out our 1.0 developer preview and let us know what you think.
Awesome. Did you still keep the divergence of having that awesome stream function that kind of combines like fetching and listening to real time?
Yep, that's still
Awesome.
there.
Awesome. Yeah, can't wait for that. That's going to be very, very cool. And then yeah, launch week already went through that. I think that's
Are we
it.
ready?
I think
Are
we're
we
ready to
diving
go.
back in?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it's time.
Nice.
So we are building out this Happy Days app. Actually, we should quickly check whether we fancy Happy Days.
Oh,
Do
first
we
one
have
up.
any
Wow.
pull requests? We do have pull requests. Awesome.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Excellent.
I forgot about this. This is so good.
Yeah. Oh man, awesome. So we have styling the entry form. So yeah, if this is your first time joining us, we've been, because we spent so much time working on styling for the first season, we realized this probably isn't that much fun to watch live on a stream. And so yeah, we've kind of like completely ignored that part of the app, and we're just kind of building out the functionality side. And then we invite anyone who is interested to come and contribute anything that you want to contribute, anything you want to add onto the app, or do some styling, or anything you want to do. And we will definitely hit up any contributions, well, any non just like spammy contributions, any legitimate contributions, we will hit up with swag. And go through them at the top of the stream. So that's what we're going to do here for Walker JN. So let us know in the chat if you have joined us live for the stream. But it looks like we're making the form a little bit wider and doing a nicer gap, making things relative.
Wow.
Ooh, okay.
All sorts of styles. We'll have to pull this down and have a look at it. See what it looks like.
Oh yeah, can you talk me through how to do the fancy
the
GitHub
fancy thing,
CLI stuff?
Well, let's start up the app first and see what it looks like before, so we can get a nice before and after going on. Because to be honest, I need to remind myself where we got to. It's been a couple of weeks now.
So npm run dev.
And yeah, if you want to contribute as well, or if it's like, it's a good way if you're a first-time open source contributor.
I always forget that one.
Oh yeah, it's Cloudflare. Yeah, we love PRs. Create some issues as well if you got any problems in there. We'll go through it live on streamers. So yeah, great learning experience for everyone.
Yeah. And
And
as you can see, there's a screaming opportunity on this page. Top left arrow pointing. Go to these entries. Don't know what we're actually talking about, but yeah, definitely an opportunity here for some nice styling. If we go through to the entries page, we have this is interesting. I wonder if I reckon we haven't got the. I reckon the instance has been paused because we've taken a full 2 weeks off.
Oh,
let's have a look. Oh, that's sign in. We probably should just set it up to not pause, or just never take a whole week off and let people down.
Yeah, we can just
keep
doing it every week.
Yeah, we just got to keep it up every week so it doesn't. See, this is like the secret behind Supabase.
It wasn't paused. It wasn't paused,
no,
right?
it's not paused.
I think maybe log out and log back in. It's good old.
I feel like
there was a button.
I feel like we had a button.
Log out. All right. So we have this nicely styled button. Is
that was contributed last week.
Actually,
Yeah,
this is
that's
two
beautiful.
contributions. This was
Two
like a
yeah.
merging of two parts of two contributions, which was very cool. So we log in. It looks like we're getting a response. So Supabase is at least wired up. Oh, two-factor authentication.
Where's your mobile phone?
No,
you
here
have it
is my
handy?
mobile phone. Let's see. Let's see. This is excellent stream content, I know.
Riveting content, yeah. Two-factor.
Is it in the GitHub app that it tells me
No,
these things?
it was in the GitHub app, but you chose not to use the GitHub app by clicking the button.
I think you can go back and
Yeah, this one. Maybe just start again.
I think it worked.
oh,
I
nice.
I don't. Did it?
I don't think it worked. It didn't work. All right, login page, login with GitHub.
Oh no, it totally did work. Never mind.
Okay,
Go
so
to
we
entries.
are still just getting no entries.
No, you're not on the entries page. Go to entries.
Go to entries. It's telling me what to do.
No,
but we still
maybe
have
not.
no entries.
I got too excited.
All right, maybe we deleted all our entries. Actually, that's this would be a new user, so we wouldn't be able to see this entry. All right, let's delete this entry. And let's create a new entry. Oh,
So
no.
This is what the form looks like.
Right now.
Yeah.
Does not look like a form at all, does it?
Once again, big opportunities. Are we episode 15 or 14?
Well, hopefully, I think
14?
this
14?
the stream says
Season
14.
3? Yeah.
We can submit this one. This one goes into the database. And then, yeah, we have that. Right. So, yeah, I think what was happening is because at the end of the last stream, we were trying to deal with function hooks. We'll talk about function hooks in a second, but function hooks and Supabase Edge functions and all of that stuff. We were trying to get that working. So we probably deleted all of the test records. But yeah, this is what our page currently looks like.
I think it's the form that's styled in this one. So maybe if we pull up the form,
cool.
If you hit new entry again.
So yeah, this is what our beautiful form looks like so far. I don't know what anyone could actually improve about this. It looks
it's perfect.
It looks perfect to me. All right. How do we do the fancy GitHub things?
So it's the GitHub, PR checkout, and then the PR number for this one is 5.
I've been using this a lot.
I know
It's
a lifesaver. Like, yeah, I use it every day.
That's so cool. All right, and then
Reload.
Whoa!
Oh, okay.
Hello there.
Very nice.
Yeah, nice.
Very nice.
Is the date
indeed.
still just regular input or?
Ooh, they slide up. That is.
Oh.
That's what all that relative stuff was. That is
Very fancy.
super cool. That's super SUPA cool. That is awesome. So yeah, so we've added some nice gap. We've made the width full, and then yeah, we've got these relative positions on these divs. So everything's wrapped in a div, and then the labels are absolute so that they can slide up. Man, that is so cool. This is what you can accomplish if you actually learn how to use Tailwind properly. This is awesome. I feel like this is the same as TypeScript. If you actually learn it, it's really helpful. Awesome. Yeah, this looks
Thank you very
amazing.
much,
Yeah,
Jason
yeah,
Walker.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jason Walker. We will hit you up with some swag. Yeah, we just got to track you down. So DM me or Alaister or Tyler, and we will
Or all of
sort
us.
you out. Sorry?
Or all of us.
Or all of us, yeah. Make us all feel important. Hit up all of us at the same time, and we will sort you out with some awesome swag. This is excellent. Let's merge it in.
Let's approve first.
Are you gonna approve it?
Yes. Oh, where was I? What's going on? How do I use GitHub again? Review. This is awesome. Thank you so much. DM us for some of that swag.
Very official.
I would yeah. I'd put a GIF on there, but I don't want to waste everyone's time just searching for good GIFs. All right, let's merge in that pull request.
Sweet.
And then I guess from here I can just check out main again.
I think I just used the git CLI for this. Git checkout.
Oh yeah.
Oh
What
yeah.
have we done locally?
We can just.
That doesn't look right.
Whoa.
All right. All right. We'll check our main, and we will pull down everything that's there. Now, if we run dev, we should see the same thing. Awesome.
Very nice.
That looks so nice.
Nice.
So yeah, if someone does want to add another contribution, a really good one would be making this date either a date picker or
yeah. Look who's in the chat, by the way. Welcome.
Who's in the chat? Hey,
Jason
welcome,
Walker.
Jason. Thank you so much
Thanks
for
a
this
lot,
contribution. This looks
It's amazing.
awesome. Yes, please DM us and we will hit you up. Yeah, this looks amazing. Very, very well done. Cool. So what do we want to do now?
Amazing. Okay. We were working on the edge functions, weren't we? I think it was like we were trying to call the edge functions, but it wasn't being called, and we didn't know why, and that's how I ended it last time.
The cliffhanger.
Yeah, we had that big cliffhanger, and then we took a week off as well, so it was like a mega cliffhanger. So it was very mean of us. So yeah, what we were starting to go through last week was we created a fortnight ago. I'm just going to keep calling it last week. It's fine. If you're watching now, it was only a week ago. We were creating this user data table, which is going to be used to store some additional data about our user. And eventually we're going to store our Stripe customer ID in there. So the idea is when we're setting up this kind of like multi-step chain where anytime a user signs into our account signs into our application because we're using Supabase, it's going to create an account for them and it's going to insert a new row into the auth.users table. So that's like a special table that Supabase manages for us. And then anytime a user is inserted into that table, we want to create some additional user data for them. So we have this extra table that's in our public schema, which means it's something that like we're creating for our application rather than something that's specifically for auth or specifically for some other Postgres extension or anything like that. So anytime a new row is inserted into the auth.users table, we want to also insert a new row into this user data table. And we want to link this user data to that auth.users table. So we're using a foreign key relationship to set up a relationship between these IDs. So this ID on our user data table is coming to us from the auth.users table. So if we have a look at mine, can we do the thing? We can't do the thing. Can I move this? No, it doesn't have a thing. So, what does this do? There we go. Yeah. So if I have a look at mine and I click view data, this is showing us all of the data that's in the auth.users table. So this is showing that relationship is wired up correctly. So so this is just where we can store any additional stuff that we want to for our application, like our Stripe customer ID. So then when someone inserts when Supabase or Postgres inserts a new row into this table, we then wanted to go off to Stripe system and create a new Stripe customer for that user and then write it to this Stripe _customer_ID column. And so that's what we're using an edge function for. So if we come across to our edge functions tab, we've got this create Stripe customer edge function. So this is deployed at the edge at CDN nodes all around the world. And we wanted to call this function to go off and create our Stripe customer. And at this point, I think it's not really doing that much. It's just console logging out hello from functions, and then we're pulling in the record, which is what gets passed across with when you use a function hook. Anytime a new user is inserted, this function will be called, and the record will represent the new user that's being inserted into that table. But something was going wrong here, and it wasn't working last stream. Although it'd be interesting to see if it was actually working and whether it was just delayed, because we weren't getting an error or any weirdness. So yeah, that's what we're going to investigate now. And yeah, I think that's where we got up to. So we were just testing whether this worked. Oh yeah, sorry, that's where my brain was going.
We were using what is it? Renamed to database
webhooks.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's actually been renamed, which for the longest time it was.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah,
it wasn't, but now it's got a better
What was
name.
it called before?
It was called
function
hooks. So if you watched the previous stream, or you're watching this later, and yeah, if you watched the last video, we were using this this feature called function hooks, and so in this, under database, there would be triggers, functions, and then function hooks. This has now been renamed to database webhooks. So yeah, this is exactly the same feature. It's not like a brand new feature or anything being added to it or changed. It's just literally a rename. But it's something that we've been meaning to do for a very long time, because function hooks isn't really very descriptive as to what it does, whereas database webhooks is exactly what it does. So
yeah, I love it.
It's you can
a webhook
subscribe
on a database. Yeah,
exactly. You can subscribe to events that are happening in the database, and then you can go and call an endpoint. So that's exactly what a webhook is. If we have a look at this one, all we were doing was, you can't actually see the URL that we were calling, but yeah, we were just subscribing to inserts and then calling that endpoint. So let's have a look at our logs and see if we actually eventually got anything. Oh, we're not going to have logs, are we?
I feel like probably not. Not on the free tier.
Well, no, we'll have logs, but we need to actually trigger or try and trigger the function so we can delete our user.
Right. I was saying we wouldn't have logs for like 2 weeks ago.
Oh yeah, no,
yeah,
not 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
So let's delete our entry that we just created. Let's delete again.
All
sorry for everyone that's signed up. We're deleting your accounts again. And if we delete, I can't do like a big multi-delete here, can I? That probably worked, right?
Who knows?
No, it didn't work. Entry is user data. That's all gone. Actually, that's an interesting point. Why wasn't? Oh no, there was user data for each of those people. All right. It's just taking some time to delete them.
It's me. I'm doing it.
Oh, thank you. If you could keep
they're
doing
all gone.
That would be great. Thank you. All right, cool. So we've deleted all of those users. So now if we log out of our application, back here. Oh, we have been logged out, yeah, because our user is no longer valid. So now if I log in again, this is going to go through that cycle. And then if we have a look, we have a new user, which is good. We have a new user underscore data column. Sorry, a new row in our user underscore data table. So that all seems to have worked correctly. So then it's just the database webhook that maybe hasn't triggered yet. Oop. Edge function. So this is the function that we were trying to call. And then if we have a look at the logs, looks like there are no logs yet.
Yeah.
If you want to copy that, let's just make sure the function works first, and then we'll try recreating the... Yeah, so if we do that one, and you just run that from your command line, and Yeah, we'll make sure we didn't do anything weird in the function.
And we also probably want to pass across a record that
Mm.
can just be set to in case that's what's going wrong, but I don't think it will be. All right, so that's printing out that stuff. So yeah, we've got that 200 there. Oh, I wonder if this works if we don't pass across the name part. I wonder if it's just crashing because the database webhook is
It should
only
just be
passing
undefined
across.
though, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, hello
it is
undefined.
undefined. And we're still getting, if I refresh, no results. Sorry, logs.
I think it's okay. Yeah, it's okay.
Okay. So why is our function, our database webhook not working?
I don't know. In order to debug database webhooks, we have to delete it and recreate it, I guess.
Yeah.
It's the only way,
let's give
isn't it?
that a go. All right, so I'm going to copy this endpoint URL because this is what we're going to need. I'm going to come across to our database webhooks. I'm going to delete this one. And all right, I'll type out create Stripe customer. All right, so we're going to create a new webhook. This is going to be create Stripe customer. This is going to be on the user data table. And we want to listen for inserts. So anytime an insert happens, we want to call a HTTP endpoint with a post request. We want to send it to this URL. So this is just our the URL for our function, our edge function. And then we also need to attach an authorization header. What's the bet I just spelled authorization wrong in the last
You never know.
last stream? So we're going to copy this all the way to here.
Nice.
And then we can confirm. All right. So we have this, and we've set that authorization header correctly. And it should be application JSON. Everything should be working. So if we go to our edge functions again, or I guess we need to trigger that whole thing. All right, let's go.
I've deleted. I've done it.
Gosh, you're good. That's awesome. All right, so let's log out, log back in. Now, if we come back here and go to our
Ooh.
going to database.
Ooh.
Is it there? Is it there? The anticipation's killing me. Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
Oh. So I guess it was just maybe I actually we should go back
Maybe
and
you
watch.
just did
Maybe
spell
I literally spelled authorization wrong. Although no, if I spelled authorization incorrectly, we would still get an error in the logs because it would try to call it and then it wouldn't be allowed.
No, the logs. No, it
Good
wouldn't.
question.
It wouldn't show up because the authorization is checked at the relay station before it gets to the actual function. So
well, that totally could have been it.
It totally could have been it.
Totally could have been. All right. So we
out, though.
are passing across that record. So now we can see this is what we're actually getting from that database webhook. We're getting this record object, which has basically just the whole row for our new user that's been inserted. So if we go back to our edge function, so what do we actually want to do now? What do we want to do with that information? Right? Yeah, we want to create a Stripe customer. So in order to do this, we're going to use the Stripe JS library, which I think Alaister sent me a little... he did.
In order to do this, we'll check our messages from Alaister.
I will check our messages from Alaister to see how we do this on the fly. This is how do my entire job. Anytime I'm faced with anything unfamiliar, I just check whether Alaister has sent me a message about it in the past. And he has, which is very nice. So the way that you do npm packages in Dino World is with these imports. And so you don't actually do like npm install whatever. You can just import it directly from a URL. And so Alaister has kindly gone and found me this URL, which is from esm.sh. So if we open that up, so esm.sh, I'm assuming is just, a global content delivery network for npm packages. So this is a way that you can include npm packages in a Dino deploy app or a Dino deploy function. So thankfully there is a nice Stripe version. So if you go to https://esm.sh/Stripe and then target Dino, and so then we have this Stripe object. And so I'm assuming we need to initialize it with our, look, he's even done that. Gosh, you're good.
Yes.
So we call that Stripe function, and then we pass it the secret key, and then we're specifying that the HTTP client is stripe.createFetchHTTP client. So why do we need to do this bit, Alaister?
I think it's because Dino has its own HTTP, like it has the fetch implementation basically, I think, which is the standard browser one. But by default, I think because it's the Stripe like server-side node library, it would try and use Node's fetch HTTP package, which Dino doesn't have access to. So we're just specifying here that we want to use the fetch HTTP client instead of some other one. But I should have gone a step further really, and instead of saying secret key here, put it in as an environment variable, because you don't want to show your secret key to people.
That's true. That's a good idea.
It's a good segue though, isn't it? How do we do environment variable using Supabase edge functions?
Well, just quickly, I just saw a question in the comments about Dino. Can you run a Dino router like Oak in a Supabase edge function? I don't actually know.
We don't receive GET requests, so
that's true.
we wouldn't be able to.
But it should. Yeah. There's no reason it shouldn't work for post requests if you.
Sure. Yeah.
Yep. Actually, I'm actually not sure as well, because I don't know if we forward all the paths across different functions. We probably do, I'm guessing, but yeah, stay tuned. That's all I'll say on that one.
Yeah, when launch week is coming up, stay tuned is the answer. All right. So sorry, that was a perfect segue. Do you want to tee it up again, Tyler?
Yeah. So I guess the question here is, how do we include environment variables using Supabase functions? How do we set environment variables?
On the details tab of the functions page, there's some very handy docs for the CLI.
Details.
Secret management.
Ooh, secret management. Nice.
Supabase secrets list. So if we were to run this, Supabase config toml. Excuse me.
Maybe we need to do -- project ref if we don't have a config toml.
Okay. So -- project ref equals, and then it's going to equal this one. Oh, that's right. I don't need the equals.
And I think it's with a dash in between project and ref.
Cool.
No, not.
All right. Cannot find in the current directory. Have you set up the project with Supabase in it? I think we did.
I don't even remember at this point. But I think there's a way.
We just did Supabase functions.
Deploy. Maybe a cheeky Supabase init.
Let's give it a go. Supabase init. Supabase init. I like it. And what did we get for it?
Is
we
it in
got
the Supabase folder? Have a look in VS Code, maybe.
we got a config.toml. That's
And
exactly what
in
we
that,
need.
do we have to enter our project ref in there though, right?
All right. VS Code, you're right. So we have a config.toml, which
Project
has
ID, happy days.
whoa. Yes. Is that right?
I have no idea.
Let's give it a go. Let's run Supabase secrets list, and no, still doesn't like it. All right.
I guess-
Project.
Wait, did we do Supabase link project ref?
Ah, yeah, that's the command I was
Yeah,
trying
I
to
was
remember.
looking at the docs. Supabase link -- project - ref. Yeah,
Yeah.
Then no,
and then yeah, I think.
this one, which might actually be that one. No, it's not. It's a different one. All right.
Nice.
Okay.
Now, can we see what's happened to the config toml? Just, I'm interested. Has it entered it in here somewhere? Or does it just... Oh, no, it puts it in .temp. Okay, that's fine.
Oh, cool. Awesome. So now we've got our project ref in there. So can we now run this from the top level, do you reckon? Or do we need to be in that folder? We can run it from the top ref. And there's all of the things that we shouldn't have dumped out on the stream.
No, it's just the digest. So it's a hash.
Ah, perfect. In that case, totally meant to do that. And it was a learning opportunity to explain that these are hashed and you can totally dump them out on the stream if you're doing a live stream about Supabase.
But
All
yeah,
right.
those are the ones we set up for you. So if you want to...
Yeah, so that is a good thing to call out, is that you don't need to go and like set your anon key or your service role key or your URL. They're all actually set for you in your Dino function. And so you can already access those environment variables from any Supabase Edge function, which is very cool. So we want to set a new one though. So if we come back here, we can see Supabase secrets set, and then we can give it a name and then a value. So our name is going to be Supabase.
Just stripe
stripe key?
I think. I think Supabase is _ reserved for variables we provide for you. And then
now that's as far as I can take you, stream. I've got to move it across to the other. Oh, it's like a test one.
Yeah,
it would
I
still
don't
be easier
know.
if people aren't creating a bunch of stuff in the Stripe account.
All right, fine. Alice says, yeah.
Jon wants to share all his secrets.
Well, I'll show you where it is so you can find it yourself.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
If you go to stripe.com and you sign in, is this going to let me sign in?
Nice.
Cool. And then we go to Happy Days, which is us. You've got this publishable key and then you've got a secret key. And if you're not on this page, if you go across to developers, you can also see it here. So you can click to copy this one. If you click this one, it will reveal it. And then you can copy it in. So this is the secret key is the one that we want to copy into this environment variable. So I'm going to move it off screen for a second.
Some more riveting stream content.
Yeah. Yep. And how much of this is shown in... Nah. All right. We'll make this small as well. Sorry, stream. We trust you. We don't trust you. No, we trust you. Great. All right. I've done that now. And... yeah. So now we could actually say
use a list command
for a second, but all right, cool, we're good. So we can actually show that the stripe key is there because this is the hashed version of the stripe key. So yeah, very cool.
Nice.
All right. So we've got a stripe key now. So how do we access that in our function?
So Dino provides a way for us to do this with simply dino.env.get capital D Dino.
Dino.get
.env.get
env.get
as a function, and then we just pass in the name of our new
cool.
variable.
why do I keep saying Supabase? Probably because I write Supabase constantly all day, every day. Dino.env.get stripe key.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we're done.
Awesome.
Nice.
That's it. Cool. So now we now have this instance of a Stripe client, kind of similar to our Supabase client, where we can now just basically interface with anything in our Stripe dashboard. And because we're doing this server side, we're using that secret key. We can actually do like basically anything. We can create customers, we can delete them, we can charge customers, we can we have a lot of power with this. So we're going to head over to the awesome Stripe documentation, because that is an excellent place to find out how to do things with the Stripe JS library. So search documentation for create customer. Customers. I need a JS version of this. This one. All right.
No
Give
JS.
me Node.js, Stripe node. Oh god, what have I done? API docs for Stripe node.
I think we just search in here.
Now we can search, and we can say create a customer. Boom. So all we need to do is this. So we've done basically this step where we've initialized a new instance of our Stripe client. And so then we can say await Stripe customers.create and then pass through any of the fields that we want to set. So if we have a look at the fields that we can set here, we can set their address, we can set currency, email, a whole bunch of stuff. So if we have a look at our, do I still have this open? If we have a look at our logs, we can see what we're actually passing across and see what we have access to send to Stripe. So we need a way to basically map, like we'll be able to map from our Supabase system to our Stripe system, because we'll have our Stripe ID stored in a column in Supabase. But we probably need a way to map the other way as well. So if we're in the Stripe system, we want a way to be able to find who a particular user is. But we can't set their ID, but we have access to their email. And so email is probably a good one to use to create the customer.
Yep.
I wonder if there is a way to, like you have like a specific Stripe ID. So that's like prefixed with CUS underscore and then their ID. But there's probably a way to specify like a
custom ID on
yeah.
I usually put it in metadata.
Oh, okay, perfect. Okay, so yeah, we'll do that. So we'll give it the email so we can quickly look up who that user is, and we'll also pass across some metadata for I guess we'll call it the Supabase ID. That works.
Yeah.
So if we want to, did I copy that creating a customer thing? I did not. So if we copy this and we come across to our Dino function, we basically, rather than console logging this out, and we don't actually care about the name, and we don't really care about this. I think, was that? Yeah.
No, we don't care about it.
We don't care about it. We have our record, so we want to set the email here to be our record, almost record.new.email. So if we have a look at our actually no, sorry, it is the record email.
Yep.
Yeah, I was thinking about Postgres triggers. You have that new object, but yeah, this one is just record.email, and then we want to set, I'm assuming we can just say like metadata.
I just say, or even user underscore ID. Supabase ID works fine.
Cool. And then if this all works, then we have a customer. So then we could, I guess we could send that back. Whoa, could send back a
We
customer.
want to save that in Supabase database, right?
Yes, good call. Yeah, so this is another good example of why we set those environment variables to be able to talk to the Supabase database, because then it's really easy to say, well, I want to create a new Supabase client. Actually, do we import a package for that one?
I've sent you a handy message.
Handy messages. See, I told you, anytime I have a question, I just go and check Slack, and there's a handy message. All right. So we can import this package. So import create client. So this is just Supabase JS, the Supabase JS library. But again,
once again, yeah, coming from ESMSH, because we need it to be in the proper module format for Dino. But ESMSH will be your best friend when working with Dino.
Nice. So then we have this create client function, which if we have a look, actually we can just copy it from our utils, I guess. We have this. Oh no, that gets well confusing. But yeah, here we're importing create client, and then we're creating a new Supabase client, which is what we're exporting from here. So yeah, that made it seem more confusing than it needs to be. All we're doing is saying const Supabase, so this is our Supabase client, is equal to calling that create client function. And look at that. GitHub Copilot knows what's up. So we're saying dino.env.get Supabase URL and Supabase anon key. And so now we have a Supabase client. And so now we can say Supabase.from our user underscore data table. We want to update.
Yeah.
Sure. Tyler's got a concern though. I can see it in his eyes.
Tyler's got a concern. What's the concern, Tyler?
So we created a client using anon key, right? But the anon key should not have access to updating user information. So we need to bring in the service key.
Very, very good call out there.
Now,
yes.
can we just check the environment variable name for that one? I have a feeling it's something like service role key or something like that.
Yeah, I guess that's a good call too.
Indeed.
Service role key, nice.
GitHub Copilot, I thought you had my back. Yeah, so the reason that we need to use a service role key instead of the anon key is that, yeah, because we've enabled RLS, which locks down all of those actions on our table by default, we have not yet written a policy to enable this. So if we have a look at authentication policies, our user data, we haven't written any policies.
Yeah,
so
so
we're
it's
not allowing
completely blocked.
Yeah, so you won't be able to select, insert, update, or delete any rows in this table unless you use the service role key, which bypasses RLS. And so that allows us to basically do things on behalf of the system rather than on behalf of the user. So yeah, that's why we're using the service role key here. So this gives us like a super admin Supabase instance or client instance. And so then we're saying Supabase.from user data, we want to update the Stripe. Oh, is that what we called it?
Customer ID, Stripe customer ID.
Stripe customer ID. We want to update that to be our customer.id. And we want to await, and it's probably a good idea to await our data and our error, and then maybe console log these just in case we haven't written everything absolutely perfectly.
Tyler's got more
have.
concerns.
More concerns?
Yeah,
Oh, no.
let's... Okay,
I'm sorry, Tyler.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's which data do we want to update? Do we want to update the entire thing, or do you just want to update certain users in this case? We want to update only that particular user, right? So
yeah, this would have gone horribly,
EQ filter or
wrong.
match filter.
Yeah.
Does Supabase have mechanism in place at this point to protect against massive updates or massive deletes? We were implementing it.
I think we do, but it might not be the case for the service role key.
Oh, right, of course.
I don't know though. Might be.
So this is exactly what you shouldn't do, especially live on a stream if people are just like following along with their live database. They're like, yeah, I'll just save this and I'll run it to check it's working. And then they would update the column for every single one. And so, yeah, anytime with any database, anytime you're dealing with updates or deletes, you have to be very careful because if you don't add on a where clause or some kind of like thing to match on, then it will just go and do it for everything. So here we're just saying, basically just go and update every single customer or every single user data row and update the column to be this particular customer. So that's definitely not what we want to do. We want to chain on a match. And we want to match on an ID that is equal to
I think
our
it has a
record
record ID. Yeah.
.id.
Nice.
Sick. Cool. And then yeah, I was just updating this, so we're just we won't actually see the response anyway, but the response that we're sending back is just the customer ID. Cool.
We can actually move the Supabase create client up to under our Stripe create client call or whatever it's called, because at the moment we're creating one every time. We don't need to do that in this case.
Right. Good call. So yeah, rather than having it inside our serve function here, we can put it up here. So we're only creating it once. Nice. So does this, like when we deploy the app, deploy the function, it runs this once and then like has these?
It's like
not
if
sure.
it gets invoked like multiple times in a row, it'll be there kind of thing, right? I think. But if
it's however Dino optimizes it under the hood.
Sure. But it's optimized. Where yeah.
And we can get rid of that first console log, the one that's like hello from functions.
Yeah, good call. Cool. And we can probably just clean up this stuff and clean up this stuff. So we've just got what our function is actually doing.
Nice.
Cool. So our database webhook will pass across this record. We go off to Stripe and create a new customer. And we're setting the email to be whatever the email is from that row in the user_data table. And then we're also setting metadata for our Supabase ID to be our record.id. And this is so that we have a way to map that back from Stripe system to Supabase. We're then, now that we actually get a customer back from Stripe, so that's gone off to their system, created a record in their database, and then sent us back this whole customer object. And then we're calling Supabase and we're telling it to update this. For this particular user, we want to update this column, the Stripe_customer ID column, to be the customer.id that we got back from Stripe. And then, yeah, we're just console logging out to see if anything goes wrong. Should we try to deploy this and should we try to run this?
I think I want one more console log for the there's just the Stripe customer. Just customer. Yeah, that's fine. Just to
is a custom ID from Stripe called ID or is it called like something ID or something?
It is called ID.
It is called ID.
So,
okay.
If we scroll back up to the top of this, yeah, we got
nice.
it.
Okay. Nice.
Cool.
Yeah, let's deploy it. Let's do it.
All right.
Try it. Yeah.
All right. So the way that we deploy is it's not even going to be in here. Go back to the documentation. Very nice, handy dandy copy paste. I don't know if you can hear that giant truck driving past, but something big just rolled down the street. All right. We come back to our edge functions and
details.
And then, yeah, over here we've got how to deploy this. So we copy this one. Oh, yeah, now we don't need to do all of that project ref stuff because we have our project ref saved in our config for our Supabase function.
Yep. And you'll see within just a few seconds, if you haven't seen this before, how quickly it deploys to like the whole global, or it doesn't, or it fails.
It
because
fails.
TypeScript.
Undefined is not assignable to type.
I just, string. In this case,
string,
probably happy just to put exclamation marks after all of those.
Yeah.
Because we know they're going to be there because Like if you really wanted to do it properly, you could do some big checks at the top and throw errors. And
Is it like this?
Before the comma. Yep.
And this one?
Maybe, who knows?
Yeah.
Looks good.
Play again.
And now I can go back to talking about how quickly the function deploys globally. That's what always
It's crazy,
impresses
isn't it?
me.
Error. It'll just keep hiccuping.
Within a few, like that's it.
Hey!
Within
like
a few
that,
seconds. And I forget how many. It's like, is it like 30 regions?
Yeah.
Around the world.
It's an insane number. So yeah, this is
Crazy.
deployed worldwide, and so now it's actually like completely irrelevant for what we're doing right now, because right now we have our origin server of like a Supabase database server that's just in one location. Is the only thing that's calling this function. So it's completely like it's completely unnecessary for it to be deployed all around the world. But the idea is that if you use Supabase Edge functions for other things in your application, they are deployed all around the world. So if your users are trying to like wherever your users are, they'll be calling the Edge function that's closest to them, which is very
34
nice.
regions.
34
Wow.
regions. Oh man, that's amazing.
Nice.
All right, so now
Moment of truth. Hit that login button.
yeah, have you gone through and deleted everything for me? Oh my god, this is amazing.
He was way ahead. I
Pair
tried to do it
programming
this
plus
time,
plus.
but it was already
All right.
gone.
We're gonna log in with GitHub. We're gonna go to our entries. We're gonna go to Supabase and have a look. All of this seems to have worked correctly, which is good. And we
That
go
hasn't,
to oh no, it
Yeah.
hasn't.
The Stripe
No
customer ID
Stripe
is still
customer
no.
ID.
All right, so we're gonna
Unlucky.
go deep on the debugging.
See what error we got. What did we do wrong?
No data.
Oh no. Is Thor available?
Is this?
I think you'll need to upgrade your CLI. This was a bug. This is a Dino bug.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's right. He did mention this.
This is not a Supabase bug. I'm going to shift the blame entirely.
So yeah, all we need to do is update, which I think I installed with Brew, right? Brew upgrade Supabase.
Yeah, not sure, but it'll be something like that.
Yeah, but yes, this was a known issue that that we've recently fixed on the CLI side. Even though it's not
absolutely mental. Yeah, he'd spent like a whole 2 days debugging it.
Right. Okay.
So hopefully, hopefully this is what fixes it.
Nice. So yeah, if you are following along, just run that brew upgrade Supabase command to update your Supabase CLI, and then I've just deployed the function again just to kind of refresh everything. And now has Alaister deleted all of the?
You bet.
He has. That's amazing. All right. And we've been kicked out. So yeah, if we log in with GitHub and go back to Supabase and have a look at our table. Oh,
nice.
It
First
worked.
time.
Wow. I mean, I shouldn't
Nobody-
seem so surprised, but
Nobody saw that other, small thing where you had to upgrade it.
No,
First
no.
time.
we'll edit that one out. We'll edit it out of the live stream. Awesome. Okay, so like our whole system is working.
Works,
so again,
yeah.
like that whole chain of things that is happening here is that when we clicked sign in, it's gone off to GitHub and authenticated with GitHub. And then when everything is all good on that side, this auth.users table has a new row inserted into it. So this automatically happens by Supabase. And so then we are listening to inserts on this table, and we're writing a new row into our user underscore data table. So this is the new row for our user. And then we are using our new fancily named database Webhooks to listen to inserts on that user underscore data table. And anytime we get a new user inserted, we want to call our edge function endpoint. And so then it's calling this URL and passing across who our user is. And then this is responsible for going off to Stripe, writing a customer to their database, getting that customer information back, and then writing it to our Supabase database again. So then it comes back to this user_data table, and it writes our Stripe _customer _ID value here. And it all works.
Amazingly. Wow.
And now it's all
So
like just
amazing.
magically automated forever. So now any user that signs up will automatically have a Stripe customer created for them.
Do we want to have a look in Stripe and see if the metadata ID came over?
It's a good call.
Supabase ID.
So if we go to our Stripe,
It's amazing that all that is all contained within Supabase, other than Stripe. But yeah,
yeah, that's
so
amazing.
nice.
Yeah, it's a thing that blew my
Functions,
mind about like when I
database.
first started using Supabase and got very excited about it was just this idea of like automating all of these things, like having this like living backend that just kind of like does all this magic stuff based on events in the database. And then because there's real time, like your application can kind of just display whatever the state is now, and if the state changes, then you get those real-time events and can update the UI. It's all just kind of this like living organism that very cool. So if we have a look at our customers, we now have our test customer here. They don't have a name, but that's fine. They have an email, and then the metadata, we have a Supabase ID, and so that's B66 blah 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 blah, and that matches our user here. Awesome.
Perfect.
Nice.
What do we want to do now?
Well, I'll call it a day, go home, have a beer. No, it's not that time.
We could go a few routes, huh? We could keep on creating this purchase experience, or should we enhance? I was thinking, I feel like storage doesn't get enough love in Supabase. It needs more attention, I feel like.
You want to take a quick detour to storage? We can do that.
Hey, we've got someone who knows lots of stuff about storage here.
Adding some storage-based features on the data journal entry part. I feel like, I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
Is that
I'm down to
too big of a detour?
take a break from. No, not at all. Take a break from Stripe.
Yeah,
Just,
I feel like it's doable in the next 45 minutes.
I think so.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Very cool.
Let's do it.
So yeah, I guess what we're trying to do, I think, is be able to add some images or videos to our journal entry, because we might need some visual stimuli to remind us what happened in that day. The memory's fading really fast. So yeah, let's. I don't know. I guess we can start by creating a bucket.
Cool. So yeah, one of the other things that Supabase gives us is the ability to store files, and so this is kind of a wrapper around S3, I think, which allows us to just chuck things in a bucket and then pull them into our application. So we're going to create a new bucket. What do we want this to be called? Assets, images.
Sure. Yeah.
Assets
Journal
is
entries?
journal. Yeah, it can be anything.
Journal entries,
Doesn't matter too much.
All right. Assets. Is this going to be a public bucket?
I think probably not in this case, because we're not sharing like things with anyone. It's just images for ourselves. So yeah.
Cool. So so if we wanted to share like a public URL for one of our assets outside of our application, like if we wanted to create like a download or something that you could just send to someone and they could navigate to, in that case, you would want a public bucket. But since everything's staying within our application, we're just going to go a private bucket. So that's created our assets bucket here. And so we can just like drag and drop things directly into here if we want to.
Yeah,
the suspense. What's
works.
The picture going to be?
It just works like, is it your hat? Ah,
nice.
It is my hat. Awesome. So we can just drag and drop things here, but we probably don't want to give all of our users access to our Supabase dashboard to be able to upload files for their entries. So how are we going to give them access in our application?
That's what makes our storage kind of neat compared with just using good old S3 is you can use the same RLS policies you use with storage as you do in the database. So let's do that.
Very cool. Okay, so we have our assets bucket here. So if we create a new policy, we can have a look at some existing policies to see what sorts of things we can do. So we can restrict or allow access to things in a public folder. We can do only ones for people who are authenticated, and then to a particular user. So this sounds probably closest to what we want, right? We probably want a we probably want to restrict it based on their UID, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Anyway, we can create this from scratch because we have Alaister and Tyler here to help step us through how to create this from scratch. So what do we want our policy to be? A user...
Well, I guess the first thing we got to decide is how we want to structure our storage. Like, do we want a folder per entry and then that's how we'll get it out, or do we want to store all the images against an entry in like in a Postgres array as a row in the database? Yeah, we got a couple of options here. I don't know. Tyler, do you have any strong opinions?
Well, what I like to do, what I typically do is I have a folder per user. So I have the top level folder is the user ID, and that's why that's like their folder, and that's how I use real level security against. So top level folder I feel like can be the user ID, and then after that, yeah, I like the idea of having a folder per journal entry. So then another folder with the journal entry ID, and then we can have multiple images, videos, files in that subfolder.
That sounds awesome.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. So then I guess like a user can
access their own folder.
Their own folder, yeah. So are we just going to do like a select, update, and delete? They can do all
probably.
the things?
Why not?
Cool. And so this outlines like what we're actually the different actions that we're giving them access to do. Like if we take off delete, then they can no longer delete object or delete objects. If we take off insert, then they can no longer copy or create. So yeah, we want to give them access to do everything. We can target the authenticated role because this should only be for users that are authenticated with our application because we're only displaying them to people within our application. And then the policies, there's one part that's a little bit different when you're talking about file storage versus a regular row in your database. So what's the thing that we need to specify?
So you always need to specify the bucket ID because this is implemented using like a normal database table with a row that's called bucket ID. So in this case, we called it assets, right?
Nice. And then we can use just like and something else to create these like compound expressions. And so we want the bucket ID to be assets, and we want the auth.uid to equal is it the
this is a tricky part, isn't it?
So yeah, this part, so basically in that same row where we store the bucket ID, we also have a column called name, which is essentially the whole path of the file, right? So what we want to do is grab like the first segment of that path and match it against the user ID. So we provide a handy utility function to do this, and you can go and look at the docs to see all of them. But in this case, it's storage.folder-name. Sorry, all one without the underscore. Yeah. And then that's a function. So we pass in the name column, and this is going to return it's going to split it up as an array. Sorry. So yeah, the name goes in there, just the word name. And then we can grab off the first, index 1. I think maybe it's index 0. But I think we'll also need another set of parentheses around that whole storage folder name thing before the 1.
Oh, sorry. Before the 1.
yeah, just so it does it properly.
And so if people want to
yeah.
like go and check these out, saying there's docs on storage and
Security, maybe policy examples.
security rules are policy examples. Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. So could we not
Yeah.
just use owner here though? If they own
Well,
the
I can't quite. Auth UID equals owner.
whoa.
So maybe I think there's another column called owner.
Yeah, so I
which
think this is
set to the
automatically
user ID.
managed and
But
Would that work for inserts though?
I don't know if that would work. Maybe it would. I'm not sure. I've actually never used that, to be honest. So this one I have used. So let's
I like it.
stick on the safe path.
All right. Wait, we're in the Supabase dashboard. Policies. All right. So we've got our storage.folder name, and then index 1. Is there anything else? So yeah, so that's what we were saying. So the structure of our folder is kind of going to be like assets, the structure of our bucket. We're going to have assets, and then under that, we're going to have like the particular user's ID. So let's say this is a UUID. And then inside that, they could have like,
another UUID.
Oh yeah, right. For the UUID for their particular entry. So then this would be the entry for that day, and then inside there they might have like /dick.png or whatever. And then there would be another user who would be blah 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 blah. And then inside that they would have their UUID for their journal entry, and then inside there they would have any of their assets. .mp3.
Nice.
So this is the kind of structure that we're talking about. So this policy is saying we want to check that the auth.uid, which is basically like this ID for our user, we want to check that essentially our user is only trying to read or write inside this folder. And so storage.folder name, index 1, this gives us back this part of the folder structure. So we're checking that this part of the folder structure matches our auth.uid.
Nice.
All right. Is there anything else we want to check?
The entire path needs to be like length of 2 or 3. So in the past, have you used path tokens, Alaister? Because that's what I'm using in my past work. But I guess it's the same thing as maybe storage.folder name, parentheses name.
Yeah, I think so. I think path tokens, you can use path tokens as well, but let's try this one and see how we go.
Sure, okay. Should we include another statement saying like the storage.folder name of length is equal to 3? Would that make sense? I don't know, so that people don't create crazy nested folders. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think for now it'll be okay. But we can absolutely extend it. But I think I'm just checking because I'm going, why are we putting 1 here instead of 0? But it's Postgres arrays are 1-based by default.
Ooh, yuck. Can we move to MySQL?
I don't know if that helps.
Joking.
You're running.
That's weird.
Okay. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Freaks me out a bit, but that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
As long as you know.
Yeah. So just like row level policies in regular database rows in our Postgres database, we display like what the policy actually is that we're creating. And so if we click save policy, it's just going to run. Whoa! It's not going to run.
Maybe user ID. We need to cast user ID to text.
This one to text.
So that's fair enough. I don't know why. Oh no!
Whoops! It's all gone. All right,
it's
all
gone
over.
forever. Oh no!
That's all right.
Someone on the front end team should fix that.
If only we had someone on the front end team.
I know.
User can.
Those front end that front end team, they're the worst.
All right, and we want this to be authenticated, and we want to say our bucket ID is equal to assets, and our auth.uid when casted to text is equal. Is it casted? I guess it maybe just cast when cast to text.
Yeah.
Is equal to, and then it was
storage
folder name, and then we pass in name, and then we get our index 1,
which is index 0 secretly, but Postgres doesn't want you to know that.
Awesome. And that's set up
Nice.
our policies.
Looks
So
good.
that looks right. Cool. Oh yeah, something I wanted to shout out was like the cool thing about storage is like auth, we actually, Supabase is just kind of managing a whole bunch of data for you. So like we just created this assets folder, and now there's a row in a database table. And so yeah, like when we're writing these policies, those policies are actually just sitting against rows in our database. So we can
yeah, objects might be a bit more interesting.
Objects. Yeah. So each time, so yeah, here's my object that I've inserted. It's got the name model.png. So this is that owner thing. So I think if we insert it from the front end, this is actually set to the ID of our user. And yeah, it's we get lots of information. Like we can check like the size of the particular file or its MIME type. Yeah, lots of
we can
cool,
do
Nice.
some really cool stuff in here with once we get some like Stripe plans set up, we can limit how like maybe how many images someone can upload or how big they I don't know, we can choose what we want to do, but we can do it all in that same, because it's those same RLS policies. We've got full control, which is great.
Yeah, totally. Derek is showing, please show deleting storage items as well. So yeah, we will
probably get there.
Yeah, probably get there, but probably
Some
from
point.
the front end. Like if you want to, like you obviously just have full super admin access from your Supabase database. From the Supabase dashboard. So you could just like go and delete the file that's in there. But yeah, we will be showing how to probably insert, update, delete, all the things, all the cruddies. And Andreas is saying, "Hey guys, awesome! I'm assuming you've just joined us. Thank you."
Thank you.
Whereabouts in the world are you joining us from? What crazy time is it? And we've also got Vita95 joining us from Tampa. It's nice. Excellent. And Nikita is loving this minimal experience. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what part of the stream you called that out, but hopefully not our knowledge, our minimal knowledge experience. Maybe it was the UI of our application, like with no styling. Possibly. All right. So we've got our stuff here. Do we want to try and set up being able to actually write to?
Yeah. Let's go to the front end.
From our application.
The fun stuff.
Lovely. The fun stuff. All right. So on which page would we like to do this from? If we go to our entries.
Yep.
And we create a new entry. I'm assuming maybe we want to like
page, yeah,
add a form field on here for uploading a file.
I think so.
Is that how we're thinking about it? Like just uploading an individual
I think we can
file
put it on the form. We could even upload multiple files.
Yeah. All right, cool. Which is going to break this beautiful styling unless it's very easy to copy and paste. I feel like file inputs specifically are quite difficult to style unless you just go and grab drop zone.
Leave it up to the community.
Yep. Love it. All right. So on our entry form,
yep,
we want to be able to upload files. So we're going to create another div, another relative div. And in here, we are going to have an input. I totally should have grabbed any other one. Grab a different one. This one.
I wonder one thing. I wonder if Jason is saying 170 is too much or not enough?
Probably too much for his nice form styling, and then we've just zoomed in on it.
Sorry, we definitely don't need to be that far zoomed in on. on this. Yeah, that looks much nicer. You're right. Awesome. So we have the type of this is going to be, is it file or is it upload?
I think it's file.
File. And the name can be file, and it doesn't have a default value. It doesn't have a placeholder. And we're going to see whether these styles are definitely not going to magically work, but the content here is going to be the HTML4 is going to be file, and then this is going to be upload a file.
Well, do we want to make it files?
Upload files.
Nice.
Smiley face.
No.
Maybe we'll do we'll start with a grimace. We'll start with a.
Do we also want to change the name from file to files and then also add the multiple attribute on the input?
Cool. So then we need to change this one to files and then multiple equals true, I guess.
Nice.
Awesome. So we can upload files and we can remove that little stressy face once we actually get it working. All right. So we click browse. We can grab.
Sorry, Jason, we're creating more work for you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we might need your help styling this. This nice file upload. So yeah, then we need to, I guess, jump in when we're actually trying to upload a file. So is it on?
Well, can we not still just do it in the remix action? Like, does it not send up the files for us?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Let's just do it all in there.
All right. So then we would probably get. So we'd.
Although
probably
I hope.
Entry now.
I hope Cloudflare doesn't. I hope Cloudflare works with all the files and everything, but we'll find out.
You know what we can do? We can totally do object destructuring and pull off our files, and then still have an entry and not need to modify this.
Nice.
And then we could console log out our files, and maybe just for now, so that we don't fill up Supabase with a whole bunch of mess.
It's fine.
It's fine.
All right. Them. Everything's fine.
All right. Everything is fine. I like your positivity. So we are going to set a date to be this, a title to be something, and some content. And then we've got this model.png. If we submit this, we get an error. And if we check our console, we have all 200s, which...
What's the error say?
Invariant.
Oh, so great.
TypeScripty something. Yeah, this is not a super helpful one, is it? What about look at that, perfect. File inputs are not supported with encoding type application www. Okay, so I guess the default encoding type for our form is www form URL encoded, and we just need to set it to multi-part form data, maybe.
So how do we do this in Remix land?
Probably enc look at that, enc type equals, and I reckon we give it this string, and I reckon we just hit the form again. And does magic happen? Magic did happen.
Oh, nice.
Awesome. That was actually a very helpful error message. Thank you, Remix. And there is our file. Do we get any other information? So files is a PNG. I'm going to have to remember how the whole file stuff works. Unless either of you remember off the top of your head, how do we pull out? I guess we don't need to, right? We could just write those files directly to...
Yeah. It's Supabase, so it should be pretty simple, I think.
Sick. So we could do that first. We could say Supabase dot, is it storage?
Yep.
Dot upload files. No, that's not going to work. I reckon it's from, and then we probably need to give it, a string for where we want to upload this.
Assets.
So this
From
would be
should be assets. Yeah, and I don't think we need the slash.
Yeah, we don't need
So
the slash.
it should just be the
From-
bucket ID.
Oh yeah, of course.
And then dot upload will pass the path as well as the file that we want to upload. I think
Yeah, so
it
the
takes
path-
2 arguments, right? Yeah, the first argument is the path, so it's gonna be user ID slash the entry ID, which we don't have at this point, huh?
No, if we put this under, we do. If we go down here
Right. Okay. Yeah.
and we've upserted it, so here we could say data. We should probably call this entry. No, we've got an entry. All right, data.entry. Sorry, data.id. So that's going to be the ID of the entry itself. So first we would need the user ID, right? So we would go. Is that how we're structuring it? So
Yep.
we've got
First
our
user
assets
ID.
folder.
Yep.
And then inside, our assets bucket, and then inside there we have our user ID. And we want to go that user ID slash our entry, our specific entry, and then I'm assuming we need the name of our file, or does that just come across with our?
No, we need the name.
It'll be
All right, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's start here. So we want supabase.auth.uid. That's not what we do. .user.id. And
That'll
we'll
work,
make
yeah.
TypeScript happy. We'll go const user equals this. And we'll say if
Is that going to work because we're server side? Can we not grab from our with auth thing? Didn't we pass in the?
We get the user.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Exactly why we did that. And so now we can say user.id.
And then we need to pass the blob of the file, right? I couldn't remember. Does it? Yeah. Does upload function take multiple files, or do we have to send one by one?
I think we'll have to do like a loop.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I said.
But we can just do the first file as a test. We'll just test with one. So
Sure.
we can just grab 0. So maybe like files 0 dot file name or something.
It'll be a comma, not a slash before the file. Yep. It shouldn't be a string. I think we can just pass file.
Don't we
0.
need the .file name or whatever?
We do. Yeah, we need to grab the file name.
And then
that's how we do it.
Pass in files index 0.
Oh, right. Sorry for the path. Right. Yeah.
Or is it just file.name instead of file name? File 0.name.
Totally missed that one.
This will probably work.
Maybe. Can we await it though?
How about we just do something like this as well and try and pull out that specific file. And then, we probably do await this one. And so then this one could be entry data and entry error. And this one can be our storage data and our storage error. And then, if there is an entry error, then we want to throw that one. Whew. If there is a storage error, then we'll get there. All right.
And maybe we want to move that entry error underneath the call to create the entry, because otherwise we'll try and, if something went wrong, we'll still try and upload the file, which is pointless.
Good call. Cool. So if we have an entry error, we'll throw that. If we have a storage error, then we throw that. And maybe just for debuggies, we will print out our entry data and our storage data.
Nice.
And go.
Let's give it a go.
What could possibly go wrong?
Who knows?
We'll use that same date, and we'll do some of this, and we'll maybe browse a different one. Whoop. Got a quick preview there. We'll submit this, and we get data is not defined. Where have we said data?
It's entry
so
data.
Entry.
That was
data.
anticlimactic.
And we do it again. Stream hat. Okay.
Nice.
Ooh.
Okay.
Looking good.
Wow.
Ooh.
So then in our console, we have file is undefined. So yeah, it doesn't look like we got the right name there. Maybe it does need to be file name. You know what would be really good is some documentation.
Do we have anything at all in Supabase still, even though it was undefined? I don't know. Was anything uploaded to Supabase? Do we want to check that? Is it even worth checking it out?
Let's check. So yeah, I'm assuming it would have been uploaded.
Yeah,
and
at
the
least
path
we
name will
didn't
just
get an
be
error.
undefined. So if we go storage and then we go to our assets, we can see a folder for our
something.
user. So that's working correctly.
Nice.
Our entry UUID is working correctly. And
Okay.
then, yeah, that's the undefined
File,
part of the
right.
file. And because it's doesn't have the extension or anything, it's just, yeah, confused as to what that actually is. So
I don't think
easy.
it actually got uploaded because it's only 3 bytes if you're in Supabase when you click on it.
Okay. Right.
See, it's like, and yeah.
Okay. Well, what happens if we do this with the file name? I just want to see if that's the part that was broken. Nah. All right. So what is the actual file name when we submit it? No.
I think having a look at like this should work, but I think it's Remix that is doing us dirty here.
Remix, how could you?
Because
We trusted you.
Can you just log out that whole file 0 again instead of the file name? See what we get there. It was like,
yeah,
as in just delete file name.
And new entry.
Yeah, looks great.
So we're going object from entries. So that should be fine because we're just creating an object version of the form data, pulling out entry, pulling off files.
So there's a method in Remix called unstable parse multipart form data.
Hey, that sounds like something we might need.
Actually, yes, I've just sent you a link. So
let's have a look.
Oh no, where did all of our time go as well?
Where did all that time go? All right, cool. So when we so we need to do this on the form data, which means we might not be able to do our object dot blah blah blah. All right, let's give it a go.
Well, the second one I sent you is, or the first link, is the custom upload handler. Because we'll basically write one for Supabase, but this is kind of cool because then it's available.
cool.
Although this looks quite, looks quite interesting.
So this is also using that.
Yeah.
And then, passing it the upload handler, unstable compose upload handlers.
Do you know the other way of doing this is the slightly more hacky way, but it also works, and that's just to upload them client side before we create the. Yeah.
Hey, that's what I was trying to do. All right, let's do that. Also, I just realized we're using Supabase directly here rather than Supabase client, which we should be using Supabase client, which is the one that comes to us from our with auth. Okay. Well, let's do that, and then we'll look into how we can wire it up properly.
Cool.
But so in here we can say const on upload equals an async function. And in here, we can basically move all of this. And I think this gets an event. And then this will just be Supabase. And then I think it's... so we will need to work out who the user is. So let's just get rid of this for a sec. And we can just console log e.files. And
is it e.target.files or e.
Yes.
I don't know how you're going to use this.
Files. Cool. And can get rid of this one. Get rid of this. And this one. And this. All right. So now we have our onUpload function, which we're going to run on the client side instead of in our action. And so now on our upload files, I think we can just say like on submit, or is it on upload?
We can do it on change, I think. Like we'll like disable the submit button until all the files are uploaded.
Cool. All right. So then in our application, if we want to create a new entry, so now when we actually choose the image, that should have triggered this, which it did. And then that gives us a file.
Nice.
And that has a name and a type. Cool. So then we also need to find out who our user is. So we can say const user equals supabase.auth.user. And then if we don't have a user, then we just want to do that return. But if we do have a user, then we want to a supabase.storage from assets, upload our user ID, and then we need our entry, which we do have.
I feel like, we can just upload it without entry. Would that work?
We don't have it yet.
We don't have it on a new entry.
We can just generate a random UUID and then save the entry with that UUID.
Oh, yeah?
Why not? Or do we even need an entry? Like, I feel like we have a top level user folder. We can just cram everything in there. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, that's true.
Sure. Let's do that for now.
Yeah.
We've only got a few minutes. Let's get a file uploaded.
Yeah.
All right. So we go into that folder, and then we have files index 0. So this will be our e.target.files. Oops. And was it file name?
No, just name.
Just name.
Name. And then
Exclamation mark there, maybe? Oh, right. Sorry.
cool.
Yep.
And then,
And then let's
log our error and our data.
we saw on the file we also had a type, so let's add a third parameter to upload and set content type to the file type. That way the MIME type correctly gets passed through. I don't think it's necessary, but then it will render images as images and that sort of thing.
You mean there's like an extra object?
An object, yep.
And content type.
Nice.
Wow.
Could be set to that. Perfect.
Party time. Let's
party
see if
time.
that works, yeah.
Stream hat. Maybe refresh. All right. And stream hat.
Oh no, it's let's pop over to the Supabase file explorer.
Oh, it did come through. We've got duplicate key. Value violates unique constraint.
Oh, right. We're uploading the same
stream hat.
The same file to the same bucket.
To the same bucket, same path.
All right. So quickly, just to fix this, we're going to add into the file name test, and we're going to fix this up, maybe off stream, and then just talk about it in the next stream, because
sure,
we're definitely running out of time. So if we were to upload stream hat and wait while this goes off to S3, upload stuff, writes all the stuff to Supabase, and then we get this, and that gives us our key to our actual asset, which is awesome. So then we could use that. Yeah, I guess we could set this in state and then pass that
Make
across.
another form field. Yep.
Yeah. But maybe we won't. Maybe we'll leave it there. We've got it uploading to Supabase. So if we
do we want to just prove that? Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like it's not a great way to go about it. Like we should be doing it in the action, because otherwise we're adding all these like extra bits. Because if someone was to like upload, then we would be disabling the submit form until it's fully uploaded, and then they have like no feedback that it's actually uploading. And yeah, I feel like the better way is for us to do it in the form. Yeah.
But let's look in Supabase. Let's
look in Supabase. Let's see that it's there. So if we go to our buckets, we refresh, we look at our assets bucket, we now have this user, and then we put in this test one, and then we have stream hat. There's stream hat.
Oh, wow.
My super dope stream hat.
7 megabytes. That's a large image. Yeah. I wonder why it took so long.
Yeah, I was thinking that as I was uploading. I'm like, this shouldn't be taking a huge amount of time. But yeah, 7 meg is quite a big file. I'm assuming that's maybe a 4K image. All right. I think that's it.
Yeah, I think that's
we're gonna wrap it up there. So let's quickly recap what we did. So the first thing we did was kind of go back to what we were working on the last stream, which was to basically populate this Stripe _customer_ID column with a value coming back from the Stripe API. And so we set up a whole bunch of automated triggers and things so that anytime a new user signs into our application, Supabase will automatically insert a new row into this auth.users table. We then set up a trigger which listens to that table and then calls a Postgres function which wrote a new row to this user _data table. And then we set up we used all of the things. It's very cool. I recommend if you want to like see all of the cool stuff that Supabase can do, watch the last video and this one, and maybe the one before that as well. We kind of go through using all of the little Supabase automated things that you can use. So yeah, then we set up a database webhook that's listening to changes on this table or listening to inserts on this table, and then calls our Supabase Edge function to create a new Stripe customer. So this went off to Stripe, used their API to create a Stripe customer in Stripe system, and then that gave us back that customer, and then we wrote that value to our Stripe _customer_ID column. And so yeah, so we used Postgres functions, Postgres triggers, Supabase database hooks, Supabase edge functions. All of those things to create this kind of automated system. And then we decided to take a left turn and start playing with some file storage stuff. And so we created a assets bucket and then implemented being able to upload a file on the front end. And we are going to work out how to do the remixy side of dealing with files so that we can upload them properly all in the same action. But yeah, I think that's it for this week.
Do we want to push to GitHub?
Oh, that's a
yeah.
good idea. That's the one I always
Plenty
forget.
of style fixes opportunities out there.
Yes, please
Absolutely.
contribute.
Entry page, the very first page. It's a lot of room of improvement.
Maybe you want to go through and add a bunch of issues for different tasks, and then people can just grab them off.
That's a good idea. This was episode 14. And we'll push that up. And while that's going, I recommend you go and check out not that one, although it's here, the Supabase YouTube channel. As we said at the top, we have launch week coming up shortly, which is going to be very, very cool. And so to find out all of the awesome new things that we're going to be launching, I recommend you go and subscribe to our YouTube and make sure you hit that little notification bell so you get notified when we're going live with these streams, or when a new awesome Supabase tips video is going out, or all throughout launch week we'll be streaming a whole bunch of stuff. Also, to keep up on top of all of that, come and follow us on Twitter. So if you go to twitter.com/Supabase and give us a follow. And then if you go to discord.supabase.com, that will forward you to this page where you can join our Discord, where there are 8,000. We've cracked 8,000.
Wow.
Let's go.
Damn. That's awesome. Come join 8,000 other people, 8,002 other people that want to talk about all the cool things they're building with Supabase. Also, if you haven't gone and actually registered for a ticket for the Supabase launch week, make sure you go to supabase.com/launch week and chuck in your email to register and get a ticket, and see if you get that super limited edition golden ticket. It might come with some very unique, cool swag. So get on that soon. If you want to follow Tyler, he is at Shukert Jr. on Twitter. Alaister is at Alaister Young on Twitter. I'm at Jon Meyers _IO. Thank you so much for watching another week down. Thank you, everyone in the chat. Thank you, Jason, for contributing to the project. And we will see you again next week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks,
Christy
guys.
in the chat even saying, hi, fam. So happy this is a thing next week. It'll be a thing next week as well, so we'll see you there.
Every week, in the US, every Thursday at, I think it was 6 p.m. I forget the ones, but go and look at the thumbnail, or actually watch this video that I'm about to press play on, and you will see exactly when we'll be streaming. But thanks for watching another week. We will see you again next week.
Have a good one, everyone.
Amazing. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.